What is behavioural economics? Behavioural economics studies how humans really behave. To this point, much of public policy and therefore our lives have been heavily influenced by classical economists. And classical economists believe that we all act rationally. In other words, we all act to maximise our own utility. They operate in a world of perfect information where everything is factored in and it can all be drawn on a graph. The fact is, however, that whilst this paradigm may account for how we should behave, it doesn't account for how we actually do behave. If I give you a crude example, imagine I offered you £100 now or £110 in a month's time. Research shows that people choose the immediate gain, which is maybe not surprising, as in our early evolution we needed to value the food that was in front of us. Yet a 10% gain in 1 month is a far greater return than we could expect to receive from our savings and investments, and so accepting a secure offer of such a return would be the rational thing to do. But often we don't. How scenarios are framed or described also really matters. When situations are framed in terms of gains, we tend to be risk seekers. When they are framed in terms of losses, we are risk avoiders. This could influence investors to buy high when all around are euphoric and talking in terms of rising markets, and sell low when all around are talking of falls. We frame our gains and losses from the reference point of what we already have, and the pain of loss is felt more intensely than the pleasure of gain. In our early evolution, to lose what we have already successfully hunted to another predator may have a greater negative consequence than the advantage of bringing home 2 kills. To return with nothing leaves the tribe hungry. The different ways in which situations are framed changes our perception of the numbers. The maths then becomes complex, and traditional economic models struggle to explain this behaviour. To start with, the premise that we are fully informed is flawed anyway. Firstly, we have bounded rationality. We only know what we know about any given situation, and we can only act within our capabilities. As a result, we must make assumptions and take shortcuts to deal with the issues that we face every day. Secondly, even if we could be fully informed, it takes a lot of effort. And if we are given the opportunity to avoid this by taking a shortcut, then we often will. Thirdly, if we had acted rationally throughout our evolution, we would be extinct as a species. If you're standing in front of a bear trying to calculate if the blow of its paw is powerful enough to kill you, then you're probably already dead. Instead, we instinctively run, we fight, or we freeze. We are wired to react instinctively and emotionally using heuristics or shortcuts, and we have biases. And whilst this has aided our evolution, it does not necessarily help us make sound decisions to maximise our utility in the 21st century. Behavioural economics gives us a framework to understand and explain our supposedly irrational behaviour.